Welcome. I am author D.M. Patterson, and in this video I'm going to read you a prompt that I wrote. Hello, Sasha. I will then provide more context and where I got the prompt and everything after I read it to you. This is a trigger warning if you are not in a good place right now to listen to something very heavy. It is a prompt about sorrow. So if you are not in a place right now to listen to something like that, please skip this or come back to it at another time. It is also meant to be listened to, so I am going to pause the video and I'm going to read it so that you can either close your eyes or just focus on something that is not in the video and just listen to what I wrote. I will then come back and give more explanation about the prompt and what my response to it was. I grip my head to keep it from spinning off. Loud noises buffet against my ears, incomprehensible as anything singular, but a culmination of ringing, pounding, and screaming. The moment of acceptance must come, but I stand in the reality that was a moment ago and grip my head tighter, as though to remove the barrage of new information ramming itself against me, forcing itself into my mind and heart like an inky black ice pick. My throat refuses to move the liquid forming in my sinuses down, and nearly prevents air to move as well. I must inhale, a ragged grasp that allows the cruel ice to rip down my throat and fill my lungs with searing cold. Loud, so loud the pounding, but my hands are shaking now and losing their grip on my ears. There are words forming in that chaos, ramming itself against me. My knees send signals momentarily louder than the ruckus that enter my brain as a normal sensation it is willing to accept. Pain at the sudden impact on the ground. More pain signals slice through the noise, from my palms this time, thrown out in pure self-conscious protection of my nose, before it too met the ground. Is the ground trembling now with the weight of these words? Some animal instinct in me begs my body for more air, and I begin to add my own ragged noise to the density around me, my lungs nearly frozen through. Protest bringing in anything more from the outside, but I am betrayed by that instinct, and more air cuts and drags itself down my swollen throat to pound through my body. I convulse and retch, my stomach having now begun to protest any digestion of the chaos. When will it end? I cannot take any more. I will not. But my guard is weakening. The shrieks of splintering ice, cracking and ramming, slashing and searing as it finds its way into me are louder and louder as its shards cut into me, down me, over and over, until I am shivering uncontrollably from the lack of warmth around and inside me, until the pitch of its darkness has spread so thoroughly and completely. My mind is of blackness, and I cannot comprehend anything but the words that are now so clear, so concise in contrast to the maelstrom around me. Each repetition a heavy layer of unfeeling, cold, seeking to suffocate any remaining warmth from my body. I can now only lay in weak submission as the words pierce my existence. There is no heartbeat. That was a response to an exercise from Steering the Craft, a 21st Century Guide to Sailing the Sea of Story by Ursula K. Le Guin. I highly recommend craft books in general, and I certainly recommend this one. I did do a response to another one of Ursula K. Le Guin's exercises earlier, and I will link that below. This is part 2 to that exercise that I did. It's on page 9. In a paragraph or so, describe an action or a person feeling a strong emotion, joy, fear, grief. Try to make the rhythm and movement of the sentences embody or represent the physical reality you're writing about. I chose my miscarriage because it is something that writing about helps, and I will always feel the grief and the loss of my miscarriage. Specifically, I am talking about when I went in for my 10-week appointment and my first ultrasound, and that is when the technician had to leave to get the doctor, and I knew something was wrong. And one of the doctors came in and they said there is no heartbeat, and the baby had been growing, and somewhere between the week 9 and week 10 the baby was no longer alive, and they were not able to detect a heartbeat. And I just wrote about how very difficult it was to have to accept that new reality, and how it just affected every part of me, every part of my being. And unfortunately, it also affected my health in a very negative way. I'm very grateful that I was writing. I have been writing ever since I was in 4th grade, and writing has always been a wonderful outlet for me. And I had picked up this Ursula K. Le Guin's Steering the Craft a while ago, and like I said, I've already done one of her prompts already, and that one was very light and fun to do. And when I came upon the second one, I did not want to run away from describing how that moment felt. I thought that it was very appropriate. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. And I know this is a very short video, but I wanted to do some of these prompts because, one, it's been helping me continue my journey with writing, and 2, I think it is extremely important for authors out there to get their hands on some craft books, and because it's a great way to help them with their journey. It's a great way to help them get through any obstacles that they may have. And if you would like to share any of your prompts, your exercises with me, I'll put my email address down below, and I'd love to read them. Sasha is here with me as usual, giving me all her love and making sure I'm doing all right. I don't have time to film around her, and she has a mind of her own, so sometimes she's in my videos and sometimes she's not, but very fitting that she would come and purr and be with me while I read this very difficult piece that I wrote. But once again, thank you all for being here with me, and now, go write.